Greetings, fellow traders. Hope everybody had a great trading day today. So let me get this tweeted out so everybody can join in here. Give me 1 minute. Get everything loaded up here. Whew, what a day. Gosh, September 30th, 2019. The last day of September, the last trading day of the month, the last trading day of the quarter. Kind of a big deal. So good stuff, good stuff. So let's take a look and see. Let's see how everything's doing here. So today we're going to be talking again about crucial candles, right? Just remember, everything that we're going to talk about today is for educational purposes only and not investment advice. So just take a moment here and read through the disclaimer. Of course, if you're watching this recording, you can always pause it and read through it, but just take a moment here to read through it. Good, good, good. All right, so let's kind of check and see where we are in the market. Okay, so today's special topic, right, which we'll talk about in a little bit, is going to be the shooting star, right? So a shooting star is basically the opposite of a hammer, right? The hammer is kind of up this way. In fact, one way to look at it too is like an inverted hammer. We'll take a look at that in a minute. But anyway, this is where we're at right now. So all of September is done. Okay. So we finished with a green month, right? And we actually finished up 14 points today, pretty impressive. And now futures are up 12 points. Uh-oh, are the flows coming in early? We'll see. We'll see what they do, if they how far they push it tomorrow. But it would be nice if we get like actually a little bullish momentum instead of like, oh, what's going on here? That type of stuff. So, but yeah, so far so good. SPX finished with a green month. We'll see. It's like kind of a spinning top, a little bit of a topping tail right here. It is a little concerning, where you have the upper shadow, upper shadow, upper shadow. So that's definitely something to look at as we enter into the new month and the new quarter, right? So the SPX inside week so far, so a little bit, just kind of is what it is. The range of it 16 points today, so not too bad. Which the daily was also an inside day. Okay, so we'll see how that does, right? If we gap up a little bit, we might gap above a bunch of these levels and kind of give it a little bit of a push. That's a possibility. Okay, daily chart 2, inside day, you can see right here, we're holding this this big support level. It used to be, prior all-time highs here, right? Tested out those levels there. It gapped up and kind of showed like where it is, and so, tagged it on Friday and inside day today. If we start working our way up tomorrow, maybe we'll get up to those all-time highs there. So that is a possibility. Okay, let's take a look. These are the levels that we tweet out to our members, before every market open. Typically, after the close, we kind of put them all together and tweet them out. So you can always see how important these are, right? And one of the things we like to look at, like to talk about, is the fact that price likes to test levels, right? And these are key levels that it likes to test, right? So these are levels that we use, right? So we can see here, right? It held the weekly pivot level and bounced between the daily pivot level, all this morning, a little bit of ping pong there. And finally, what does this mean? What does this bar mean? Strong, right? That's strength right there, right? It pushed through a key level, right, with some force, right? Very, very big stuff. Look at this level. Look at this bar right here. Upper shadow, right? Pretty much a shooting star right here off of that level. That was bearish. Look, so you got that bearish fall through, right? But this here is bullish, okay? Consolidation's cool. It doesn't have to go straight up. Market doesn't go straight up, right? But it digests that for a little bit, that big move. Okay, and it says, nope, I want to test the next level up. And there it is, okay? Then we had another push right here, but it couldn't quite get over it, right? So this was a counter move, right? So 180-degree move, and then look what happened. Kind of slowly worked its way down and came back to the daily pivot at the end of the day. Amazing how it does that. So price action, good stuff. All right, so today we are going to talk a little bit more about some cool candles, some crucial candles. So last time we talked about the hammer. Today we're going to talk about the shooting star. It's basically the opposite of the hammer. Okay, so one of the methods here is actually called the inverted hammer. Okay, so really, really interesting stuff. The inverted hammer, similar to the hanging man, was actually thought to be a reversal pattern, but this actually, so 65% of the time, right, when you see one of these, is a continuation move to the downside. Okay, and so I love inverted hammers, right? I call them all shooting stars, right? If it's an inside bar, I'll call it an inside shooting star. If it's outside of it, I'll call it momentum shooting star, right? But it's basically an inverted hammer. Okay, and that can give you like really, really powerful. So you can look at it, like all the gravity's at the bottom, right? It looks like it wants to go lower, and it does. Okay, you see that a lot. At least 65% of the time, it does. And the only really key thing, right, that the whole thing I'm talking about all week is the importance, right, of understanding levels, right? And so just because you see a shooting star doesn't mean you should short it, right? But if you see a shooting star, right, at a key level that's like breaking down and there was prior resistance there, then I think you have a higher probability than 65% that it's going to work. Really, I mean, those are the trades that we take. Okay, this one here is classic shooting star. It's where you move up, right? And then you have your topping tail up here, and then you have the big base of the lower body right there, reasonable base, usually like 25% or so. So I think 30 is kind of the rule of thumb. Then it moves back down, okay? 60%, 59% chance of reversal up here. So going up, it's just the opposite of that bottom hammer, okay? So it's basically a top inverted hammer or a shooting star, okay? So that moves to the downside, all right? And this is another shooting star version, okay? So this is one where you actually have a very bullish move, okay, to the upside. You have a big green candle, right, and you gap up, and it looks like that the move is exhausted, right? But if there's a gap right there, okay, see this one here doesn't show the gap, this one does. If there's a gap there, oftentimes it could mean a continuation. It just means the bulls just got tired, right? They took some profit up there, but it held the gap. So that is a really important one. So this is another version, right? Another way to look at the shooting star, right? And of course, as always, look to see what's happening on other time frames. Okay, so if you see it on a 5-minute chart, check to see what's happening on the 60, check to see what's happening on the daily and the 15, just to make sure that the shooting star makes sense to trade, right? Because the lower the time frame you get, the trickier the price action gets, right? And it's a lot trickier with options, right? Trading the 1-minute time frame just on candles with options is very, very difficult, if not impossible, right? Okay, so good. So let's just take look at a few examples here. Give me 1 second. Let me switch back over. Okay. All right, so like really quick, you can kind of see right here, right? It's all about the levels, right? So you can see this, right, was an important, shooting star style, right? And look what it did. It resisted at the daily pivot level. So that was a key level that resisted and got movement to the downside, okay? Now this one right here would be sort of the inverted hammer, right? It continues down. How come this one didn't follow through? Okay, well, it never broke down, right? It never broke down. So it actually put a little bit of a lower tail right there. Then the next one was a continuation up, right? So that it looks a lot like that second version of the shooting star because that eventually moved out. Well, now it wasn't a gap, but you could see here it's very, very key at what level you're at. Right now here was one right here, but it was found resistance, right? So on support at the weekly pivot on this shooting star right here. Okay, get a little bit of a move to the downside, right? But then it finishes a hammer, so that completely countered the move, right? That's why on the lower time frames, right, like the 5-minute chart, we always like to wait for confirmation, right? And on the larger time frames, we still like to look for volume, right? Kind of a classic example right here. This is kind of like a southern doji too, but very, very much like a shooting star. You had a big move up there, and that was at a top of a range too, right? Right. So it just kind of going back, right? It gives you more range back there. Okay. Here's an example, just up here. Okay. So we reached, a very critical level right here. Let me actually show you what it looks like a little bit higher here. Jump way back there. It jumped really far back. It's like I just wanted it to jump back there. All right, so here we go. So it's at the 30-20 level right there. Okay, look at how much selling pressure there was here. There was a big gap down, selling pressure. Then you had all this selling pressure that eventually pushed down. So right here, when you see these topping tails, right, when we see a shooting star, especially on the larger time frames, right, we need to keep that in mind, right? So here it was like basically an inside bar. Then it tried one more time to break up and gave you that shooting star right there. Okay, off of those key levels. And then what happened after that? Big decline down, right? Bigger time frames, bigger moves. Okay, so these levels, this is huge resistance right here. You could even see it right here. It's a very, very thick one, so I would call this like an upside down kind of machete. But look at the move that got down, right, ultimately, right? So it's very, very important to check the levels. Just because you see a shooting star hanging out somewhere doesn't mean it should be traded. Look at the all-time highs on the SPX. Shooting star. Okay? Very, very important stuff. Okay? Why was that important? Why didn't it just keep going? Well, the candle told you, the price told you, it ran out of, buying power up there, buying pressure, right? The sellers really came in, right? Put in an all-time high, selling pressure in. Look what happened the next day off of that candle, off of that shooting star. So yeah, it's very important stuff. Okay, so when you see that intraday, when you see it daily, right, always check to see what level you're at. If you're at the all-time high and it puts in a shooting star, chances are, right, that it did its job. It hit the all-time high, and then it's and then it wants to test like lower levels, right? So very, very important stuff. Okay, always important to check the levels. Okay, even here is an inside bar. I love these. I love an inside shooting star or an inside hammer, right? Very, very good momentum off of those, right? Because usually if you're an inside bar, right, an inside, something, right, it wants to check one of the sides of that of the mother bar, right? So when you get an inside shooting star, wow, look at that. Ooh, test the bottom of that level right there. That's a nice move, right? 3008, right? All the way to 3. Nice 5-point move just off of that in 1 hour. Really, really great stuff. So anyway, powerful, powerful. So just want to share that it's all about the levels, right? It's all about the price action at levels and where price has been and how it's reacted there, right? Even here, right? You just see this stuff all over the place, right? Here, big down selling pressure at this level. It came back to it, right? Shooting star at the down, right? Up here, big topping tail, selling pressure. It tried it one more time, selling pressure at the close, and then look what happened. One more time to see ya, right? All the way down. Very, very powerful. Very, very powerful. Just like the hammers, right? Here's a hammer down here. There was support here. There's buying power, buying pressure here. Big move up into the close there. Okay? So we see this stuff all over the place. Really, really great stuff. So definitely candles to take note of, and I hope you guys found that helpful. At this point, if anybody has any questions or chart requests, please feel free to plug those into the chat window, and we'll get through as many as we can. We'll try to wrap up by 10:30 and kind of go from there. I've got a couple chart requests here by DM here. Give me 1 second. Let me pull those up too. Okay, cool. Gotcha. All right, so I got this one right here. So this is from Gia. Let me just put that in there. Okay, and let's see if Shirley emailed one in here. I am not seeing one from Shirley tonight. Okay, cool. So that's what we got. Good stuff. All right, so let's check things out. Questions, chart requests in the chat box. We'll get through as many as we can. Okay, Jay, what's going on? Good to see you. Long time. It's been a minute, but glad to see you. Always first one here. High five. Session, heyo, what's happening? Good to see you. Will M, good evening. Netfry, good evening. Paul, yo, what's up? Sarah, good evening. Bodipudi, how's it going? Amazon, let's take a look. Thanks for tuning in. Yeah, let's take a look at Amazon. So let's go to the daily and just see what's happening here. So I recently just drew this, all this stuff here, but I can kind of draw a fresh one right here. So this is, actually here it is right here. Here's the downward trend line on Amazon. So today's move, right guys, was a hammer. Why is this hammer important? The hammer is important, right, because it held like some major levels. We already broke down on these levels, right? See that hammer there, right? That worked its way up. Tried to hammer up there, couldn't get no breakouts. So this hammer is very important. It's almost like look how it's hanging on right there by its chin, hanging on by its chin there. Okay, so at some other levels of support, and down here it's pretty much over at this point, right? This is 1680, but right now Amazon is holding these levels. Okay. Put in a minor pivot today. So let's see tomorrow. Futures are strong. Tomorrow, if it can close bullishly over this level, Amazon might be along, right? Might try to retest that 1800 level, something up here. Okay, so we got to keep an eye on it, make sure it closes above that bullishly with volume, right? That could be a good indicator. Okay, nice chart. Doc Admin, what's going on? FSLY. Fastly. Let's take a look. Very, very good. Let's take a look. So Fastly, it's kind of doing its thing. Let's take a look with the trend line. So here's the high, here's the low. There's kind of the macro trend line right there. Other than that, kind of maybe a little bit of a bump and run type thing going here. I like the inside day, a little bit of consolidation. I like how it's holding kind of its new cloud right here. Let's see if we can break over this and then ultimately break over this, right? That would be really nice to see. Good, nice one. Benny, good evening. How are you? Thanks for tuning in. Robin, what's going on? Good evening. Good, yes, Disney Spy. Very good. Doc SE, let's take a look at that. Oh, yes. See, this is getting a little bit choppy in here. It's like in the high C's, right? Really, really choppy, right? So really key thing right here is getting above this level. Let's get above that and see if it can work on filling that gap. Otherwise, the macro trend on that is down. Really, really choppy stuff there. Yeah, so let's take a look at Diz, Robin. Walt Disney Company. So yeah, so it's getting there, right? So this is a bunch of key levels up here on Disney. I like the inside day. I like that it's approaching this downward trend line, right? Let's see how it does tomorrow, next couple days. See if it gives a minor pivot and starts to work its way up. Maybe one of these things could give us an earnings run, which would be great. This one, they got an earnings run last time. Look at that. Pretty incredible stuff. Yeah, so we'll definitely keep an eye on that. Yeah, otherwise, it's continuing to hold this level right here, this price level right here. This is, gap window opening, right? So that is that's the opening of the gap window down there. I don't know, the pricing isn't perfectly exact, right? So low 126.36, right? I'm off by a penny. That's the open gap there. 126.36. Good. Okay. Yeah, so we just have to watch and make sure that level gets defended right there. There's a fib fan line down there too, so that's good. But the more it kind of moves down, the more it consolidates, the bigger move up we could get off of it. So that's kind of one of the things right there with it. So we'll see. We'll see if it holds that gap. And then we got SPY. Okay, SPY. Let's take a look inside day. Right. Remove that right there. Oh, made two of them. Okay, so there's SPY. So there we go. We got here, low, there. Good. So SPY actually made a minor pivot today. If we close bullishly above that, right, we might get a little move up on SPY. That would be cool. Very nice. I like it. Enjoy Life Apparel. What's happening? Good to see it. Seneca Flowers, how are you? Howdy. What happened to Netflix at the close? Good question. Somebody else asked me that as well, and I was just like, well, we had a double go bar on the 30s. But yeah, so let's take a look. So Netflix, obviously still kind of holding here, right? Needed to close, really bullishly above these levels. Some volume. It had decreased volume today, so it didn't really mess with it today at the close. But yeah, it had a big push at the close, right, and kind of drifting up a little bit here too. And if futures stay strong, it might continue to drift off of that. The reason for it, the catalyst of it, good question. Huge volume came in. Let's kind of just take a look. Anything else? Obviously some big volume here. A couple of things, spiked in the close with some volume. So Roku did not. But Facebook, a lot of the FANG ones, had Boeing, no, not FANG. Tesla, let's see, not really. But all of the typical FANGs looks like they got like a little bit of a pop there. So I looked for news. I didn't see anything that came out. Nothing really here. 1405. Looking at the news on SP sector. No news here. But yeah, I had asked that. I think it was just sort of a pop into the close. But yeah, big volume came in there, so that is interesting. But definitely worth kind of keeping an eye on that for sure. Enjoy life. Let's see. Baidu. Yeah, let's take a look. So Baidu. I take one more look here on Netflix. Let me just see one. Let me just look it up here. See if there's anything. Let's see. No, I got the same news here on Benzinga, and then just the fly real quick to see if there's anything there. One sec. There. Just renewing Stranger Things at 1 o'clock. I don't see any other any news right here, but there could be something out there that I just didn't see. But could have just been a technical spike at the end of the day. Speaking of spike, there's spike in ledge. So here's Baidu. All right, so here trend line right here, still consolidating below the trend line. Remember, it came above that because it was after the low. So we're gonna watch this, right? We'll see if it can hold above it. The trend is still down. Okay, the trend is still down. We didn't get a lot of volume today, which is pretty amazing after the crazy fake news on Friday. Supposedly of delisting the Chinese stocks, but anyway, inside day we'll just kind of keep an eye on it, right? Downward trend line, see if it can hold that. If it tags it and reverses off of it, we'll look for short setups on it for sure, right? Otherwise, if it gets over, we'll look for it to close above it and see if we can get through that cloud. Very, very important stuff there. Okay, Market Mike, what's happening? Tuesday is my Monday for this week since that's fine. That's cool, man. Today, just start fresh today. New month tomorrow, new quarter, good to go, right? Couple of names. Let's take a look there. Let's take a look at Lulu. It was a tricky day, man. There was I think I maybe caught 3 or 4 setups that were good today, on our go-to list. Other than that, it was a challenging day for sure. Lots of chop, especially this morning. Right, a couple of them NVIDIA gave a pop later after it got over the pre-market levels. Just real quick, with NVIDIA, it was pretty phenomenal today the way it moved. It reminded me of the old NVIDIA back in 2017. It just the way it moved. Here's your pre-market level. There was your pre-market high right there. Once it closed above that, it gave that usual NVIDIA kind of algo chug right there. It's pretty impressive, just out of nowhere. But look how choppy that was during the day there, right? And Roku. Look at it. Look at that. Oh, just the chop in there is horrible. And then it basically just got to the inside day high, came back down. Right. So anyway, sorry. The Lulu. Let's take a look. There's some nasty ones today for sure. Yeah. So Lulu is still working, right? I still have this downward trend line coming right here, right? We're kind of consolidating a little bit. We'll see if we can get above it and then kind of work its way above, a couple of these levels. I really don't need that level on there right now. So we'll just kind of see how that holds. So that's good. Netflix 270 line in the sand. Let's take a look. Yeah, it is. It sure is. If it closes bullishly above that, then we could look. But then again, look at this. Look at that. Look at that downward trend line. Ooh, scary resistance right there. But a move from 270 to 280 is still a good trade. So anyway, good stuff there. Twitter. How did that finish on the 60s today? So Twitter, again, still kind of downtrending right here, but it is holding the cloud, so we'll wait and see how that kind of consolidation moves right there. I just want to... How did AMD finish today? I meant to look that too. Okay, just checking. All right, good. And then ENPH. Twitter. Oh, yeah, I see what you're saying, Twitter short. Oh, it is holding the cloud. Just watch out for the cloud there on Twitter. And then ENPH, let's see. Yeah, no, for sure on this. I love this, how it broke down out of the cloud. Right here was our upward trend line on this one, right? Nice inside day right there, a little crouching tiger move, and then the bearish follow through with that one, right? So it still could have entered off of that and still continuing down. Nice catch on that one. We looked at that recently, and had some nice follow through. I love the cloud breakdown with a setup. Gosh, it's like one of my favorite things. Beautiful. It's a beaut. And then eBay. Yeah, so you still might get some continuation of that EMPH, though. I don't want to chase it here. eBay, look at that. It can be tough to trade right there. We will keep an eye on it, though. That's worth kind of looking at here. Low, there's your level. So it kind of closed today. Bullshit, it needs to close with some volume over this level. And then maybe it can work its way back up to the cloud. Hey, good stuff. Wendy, good morning. Whoop, whoop. Hope you're doing well. Hope it's a beautiful day in Singapore today. Session, what's going on? Do tails on hammers matter? You bet they do. I'm going to just take a look, guys. I don't know if you guys saw me tweet this out earlier today, but take a look at Boeing on the 5. Look at that tail. Now, sometimes you get these weird ticks and all that stuff, but look how important that was today. Well, the reason is because it shows a hammer. Right, so you want to see here, you want to see like a tail that like 70% of the range is good, is ideal, right? But you want to see like setup, right? You want to see some volume, right? Here's this move down. Look at the volume on that candle today, that 5-minute hammer, right? It was red, but who cares, right? Big move. That was good for a spike, 378.18 after a full point up, and then look what happened. It came back down, and that was so well defended, and even some volume came in there on these two. It's like nope, gonna keep defending. That's a great signal right there. Nice pop off of that, right? But nothing goes straight. I mean, not often does it go straight up unless it's like Fed day, right? You get some crazy moves, right? Or some big news comes out. But it just was just clearly defended right there. Then it came back in, they stepped back up again as much as they needed to get this thing going. And then boom, it triggered. Buy programs went off. See ya. This thing just kept going. Oh, wait, should I sell a little bit, make a little profit? Okay, yeah, that's fine. But buy programs come back in. Big volume on that green bar. Big volume on that green bar. Big volume on that green bar. This is probably worth potentially swinging overnight. I mean, it's just, and with basically like a stop below at this level, right? I mean, this is very, very strong price action, right, with the volume. So yeah, so those tails do matter, right? You can kind of see what happened right there. Once it does that and that volume comes in, it means a ton, especially at a key level. MTNBR, Roku, yeah, my pleasure. So let's take a look at Roku. Roku. Yeah, Roku had some moves today, but it was just chug-a-lug all day today. It was just, look at this. Oh, it went up right at the open and then completely reversed and then reversed again and then came up with all these topping tails and then just chopped around in there. And then even when it moved up, it was so grindy. And then it finally got above the pre-market levels and then it got up to test the inside day high. And it's like, okay, done. Right, so that was tough today. But let's take a look at see how it is on the daily chart. And it was okay, right? Inside day still. Here, or yeah, sorry, I already labeled it inside day. When I said it tested the inside, it tested its own day's high, but try to get up to the prior day's high. Okay, good. Anyway, consolidating right here. I love Roku. I think it's going to do great. Just need it to get there, right? So I mean, it could even test a couple other lows and all that stuff, but this trend line here is the key. That's the money line right there. So ideally, honestly, I wouldn't even mind if it chopped until like mid-October and just kind of drifted down a little bit, get it off of everybody's radar for a little bit, and then once it kind of gets to this trend line, maybe even down here, right? Then it gives us that sweet move back up to the cloud. That is the goal on that one. But right now it's just kind of downtrendy, right, and kind of choppy, right, after these big moves. It is holding support, right? It's got some kind of big support right here, right? I mean, it held that for a long time, right? Lots of buyers in there, okay? So it's holding those levels. So that is a key levels to see if it holds. Good. Yep, session, like top tails and bottom. Exactly. Yep. Very, very important. And that's where kind of when we get through this week, that's ultimately what we're going to look at. That's kind of the most important thing, right? Is it like does a candle have a shadow or not, and what level is it at, right? That's really what it all comes down to, right? And then just looking at volume and then seeing how it handles those levels. So Bruno, what's happening? Good to see you. Love the avatar. Harvey, what's going on? Thanks for tuning in. Hope you're doing well. SMDC4S present and accounted for. Very glad you're here. MTN, nice content. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. All right, Gia sent BA. So we didn't actually look at BA yet on this. We looked at it briefly. So BA is interesting, guys. So it has been, this is the trend line, right? It's been holding it pretty well. Started to break down a little kind of minor pivot right there, okay? Now it did close below it today, right, with volume, but that bottom tail right there is like, no, I don't really feel like shorting that right now. Plenty of buying pressure right there at a former bottom tail, right? But look at that. Lower shadow, lower shadow, lower shadow, lower shadow, right? Lots of pressure in here, buying pressure, okay? So it's not quite over the trend line yet, but it could get there. And then the way it went today, I'm not surprised to see volume increase, how it handled that hammer intraday. So we'll kind of keep an eye on this. Very, very interesting point. It's a very, very critical area right here. Okay, so let's take a look at shop. Shop to drop. Okay, so I know I got a lot of little trend lines in here. Just kind of try to ignore those. But basically, it's holding. It's doing right now what I hope Roku will do. This is better. Okay, it's doing what I hope Roku will do. Minor pivot right here off of the downward trend line. Big move down. Okay, so it's possible this is a wave. Zigzag down out of this channel. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, it's starting to work its way up, right? So possibly like A, B, C, and then we'll see another possible sharp move down. But to get this started, right, it's got to close bullishly over these levels with some volume, and if it does that, then we'll trade it up. Not afraid to trade that one up. That would be fun. Okay, good. Baidu. We took a look at that a little bit earlier, but just one more glance right here. So still downtrending below the cloud, right? So it's got some work to do if it wants to get up today. FedEx, that's an interesting one. Good one to keep on the radar, for sure. Okay, fresh lows, fresh minor pivot. Wait till it closes above this 148 level with some volume, bullishly. Then we'll see if it works its way up to the cloud. Okay, cradle there, up. I'm going to add that. I'm just going to keep that on the lateral because eventually FedEx will kind of change its script a little bit. It's too interesting, but it likes to fall off the radar. It sure does. Shannon, how's it going? Message retracted. It's cool. Thanks for tuning in. Wendy, Amazon. So we looked at that, but I'm always willing to take another look at it. Okay, yep. So downtrend right there. So today is very, very important, right? Nice hammer, congestion zone. All right, needs to close bullishly above this level, right, with some volume. If it does, might be able to start to work its way up to that trend line. AMD, nice one. AMD has been slowly working its way down. Looks like an inside hammer today. Low volume. I don't know. This thing needs some news. It really does. All right, it had a little bit of something when the CEO was supposedly leaving. All right, got interested. It had that crazy. What happened this time? Like, had like crazy earnings. This is a great gap right there. Great gap and go on that one. Then it pushed. Then it got the follow through the next day. It was really, really nice. Right, and kind of came back there inside hammer right there. So there's the major trend line right here. So just kind of keep an eye on that. Okay. Let's get it there real quick. As I just want to point out, Nike. This is one we traded on Friday for a breakout over the gap high. Okay, it gave you a topping tail off of there. We were able to get in a little bit early on that, so we made some money on it. But look what it did today. It tested it one more time and broke out through both those levels and then really plowed forward. That was a huge trade. That's what we wanted to catch day 2, but it didn't quite happen there. So, or this day 3. So, but yeah, take your eyes off it for a day and then see it, right? Love to see it. Anyway, just wanted to point that out. Okay, cool. So that's AMD. Let's take a look at Walmart. Yes, Walmart. Walmart is finally showing a little, dings in the armor, right? So you have this little minor pivot that showed up the other day. So we're definitely keeping this on watch, right? Because it's been climbing up pretty strong. I mean, I know it's Walmart, but I mean, give me a break, right? Even this big run up, right? It's still reversed a little bit. So let's check this run up right here, right? It always starts with a minor pivot, then a bearish close with some volume under it, and then it starts to move back down. So that's what we're looking for. Just kind of keeping an eye on it. Seneca, I always think of tails on hammers and stars like rocket boost streams. Exactly. It's awesome. Yep, totally. Thomas, what's happening? Oh, pins. That's a good one. Pins. pins and needles right here. I love the down move right here, but it's been pretty good, right? I mean, the last earnings, right, was like kind of a beat, right? And it's just kind of drifted down a lot since then. I think this is gonna surprise a lot of people eventually. Hopefully, we can catch it before earnings, or maybe even have some freebies to run through it. But I love this trend line right here. Let's see if we can get above it. Maybe this trend line maybe work its way back up. Snap. Oh yeah, snap's a good one too. Nice pullback. Look at, oh, love it right up here, right? Who knows? Maybe we could fill this gap a little bit. Trend is down. It's breaking below the cloud, right? You can try to short it, but here I love this downward trend right here. Let's see if we can get above it. A little close above this cloud right here, and another shot at 18 again would be great. AbbVie. Oh yeah. Yep, still climbing up right there. That goes on the watch list too if it wasn't there already. Loving it. Nice move back up here. Working its way on filling the gap. Get us up here again. Find a little selling pressure up here, and then get us back down to the cloud. That would be great. Oh, and then get some dividend behind it to help us. Ah. Good. Nice one. Nice ones, Thomas. Doc, great. Thank you so much. CSS, SEC. What's up? RH. Yeah, it's been kind of hanging out there. Yeah, it's kind of chopping around up there. Minor pivot right here. Let's see if we can close below that and give us a move back to the cloud. Could be getting there. Nike we just looked at, so yep, big push there. Bullish. I mean, yeah, big increase in volume. We'll have to see. It might kind of chill out up there a little bit. What we could do is we could actually take this trend line here, bring it up there, shift that there, and just there's kind of your recent trend line right there. Look at that, nice bull flag to the trend line and up. Okay, so we'll see that. It could be good. I mean, it's got a pitchfork way up here that it could start to work its way up on. That was a great move today on it. Totally was not on my radar today, but it was a good one. And then match, yeah. That's a good one to keep an eye on too. So that had some news the other day, right? Like fake accounts and stuff like that. Really, really flushed, kind of came down a little bit. So let's kind of check this out here. After it went from hero to zero, basically. It was like one of the best gap and goes in a while. Then this stuff happened. Okay, so we'll see how that consolidates right here. I really like what this is doing too. Possible continuation, consolidation, and then a work back up to the cloud. I think we can kind of keep an eye on that as well. I like it. One sec. Yep. Okay. Nice. Yeah, definitely worth keeping an eye on for sure. Thomas Okta. Yes. Okta. Getting there. I only know instead of Okta, it's Okta because a friend told me that he interviewed with him, and that's how they pronounce it. So yeah, Okta. Anyway, cool. Hammer right here. Okay, nice volume. Approaching this downward trend. I love that. This would be a great one to swing. Right. Let's wait a couple days, see if we can get over this trend line, confirm, give us some volume, and let's go. That'd be good. I'll show you another one too. Twilio is looking good. Getting there. Finally put in that minor pivot today with some volume. Close above that tomorrow green. It's looking really, really good with Twilio. Anyway, cool. Sean M, what's happening at ABLR? Okay, yeah. Where's our trend lines on this one? I don't think we've looked at this one in a while, at least. There we go. Yeah, so it's got this trend line right here. A little bit of a bump kind of going on right here. Okay, so just kind of keep an eye on it, see how it handles that. This trend line is going to be key. I'd like to see it kind of drift a little bit lower a little bit, and then to give us a better move at least to that trend line. But yeah, drifting down a bit. And it had, I don't know, gapped up on earnings, but it really came down a lot after that. Babu, how's it going? GC? Like GC, like stock? Like futures? Yeah? Well, a couple things here. We have a fresh low. So you have this. So that moves that trend line there. You do have a bump right here. Okay, for potential bump and run. So we'll see how it holds this trend line and this trend line, right? So really, really important stuff. Taking a little bit of move, right? So it's kind of a crazy head and shoulders. Looks more like a tarantula or something like that. But anyway, still kind of working its way down there. It's middle of the cloud. Nice. Sumit, what's happening? McDonald's thought on activity today. Oh, let's take a look at a couple different things. Oh, what is that? MCG. Goodness gracious. Index finger decided to activate instead of Middle finger. I mean, goodness gracious. I mean, it's kind of slowly working its way up. It's doing its McDonald's thing, right? Just annoying everybody from all ends, right? It does have this gap up here that it, is slowly grinding its way up to fill. Just hasn't been given any real entries on it, right? These upper shadows have just been so crazy. But one thing McDonald's does like to do that I will comment on, right? It does respect. It likes to respect its pre-market levels, even if it's a dot, right? So I mean, look here, like yesterday, right? You had these pre-market levels like here. You had all these topping tails on it, and it just kind of stays within those pre-market levels, right? Aftermarket right here too. It came back down to it, right? So sometimes it does break out, but look at that. You had look at that. You had your aftermarket levels here, tag there, right? Pre-market levels. Okay, well it shot up a little bit there, and then kind of came back into its ranges. It's very, very interesting how it does that, and it usually does like just one or two like little things here. It's just 100 shares, but it's interesting how it does that. So today's price action does look pretty good, right? It was kind of choppy here, right, for the most part, and then it got a little bullish, right? Nice hammer right here on some volume. You can see how the volume came in here at this part of the day, right? And just kind of drifted around a little bit. So we'll see. It's just tough to put a swing position on it right now because of its the way it's moving. Even the wave count here is a little bit weird. So it was the first breakdown. So it could be A, B. Maybe it'll move up, fill the gap, and then give you a wave C down. Just that breakdown out of that channel was a huge move on it. So it's definitely worth watching. Dimitri, hey! Hi, how's it going? Good to see you. Thanks for tuning in. Session. PayPal. Let's take a look. Oh, yeah, PayPal. That came off the radar. I haven't seen this in a while. Okay, yeah, well, it's starting to work there. Little downward trend line, or a little recent low. What's the low here? 101.31. Low here. 101.10. So that is the new low. So there's your level. Okay, so minor pivot right there. See, so it's starting to work a little bit better. If it gives you one more minor low, you can move that, and then it gets kind of start to work its way up. Fidelity. Yep. Not too much on this one. You have this kind of channel right here, right? We kind of extend that out a little bit. And just kind of see what it did. It tried to break up and down. It's now at this point, it's more like megaphoning, right? I almost want to put just for fun, just put a fib band on this. From here to here. Kind of megaphony in this area, so the fib band has some interesting levels. So okay, keep an eye on that. It's in the cloud inside day, so this is definitely interesting to look at. SQ. Let's take a look. Okay, so SQ is starting to get there, guys, but the reason I'm not long on it is because every bullish move it gets, other than this, right? So this was, there, right? It was a gap up, and that could have been a good entry, and it's kind of working its way up. But I passed on this. Why? Probably no real excuse right there. I probably should have swung it off of that. So I think that wasn't even Friday. Yeah, that was a good spot to go long. I mean, it's starting to work its way up, right? I want to see more volume. I wanted to see more volume today. So my whole thing is I love this gap up. I love the volume. I just want to see like a little bottom tail and just kind of fill that gap real quick and then give us an entry off a little hammer. That's pretty much the only reason I didn't take that. But it was a nice. That was a nice entry right there. Could continue. CLX. Yeah, this is a great one. I added this to the list right here. It's looking really good, right? Nice level right here. Let's see if we can close bullishly over that today. I'm going to remove that because that's distracting. Bullish move over that. Let's swing it to the cloud. Yep, and the FedEx already covered. Good stuff. Nice. Benny, what's happening? WGO. Let's take a look. Oh wow, great one. Nice moves on this one. Wow. That really came up, didn't it? Right there. That was a nice close right there. I mean, it is relative volume, but I mean, that really worked its way up. That was a nice one. Very, very pretty move. Okay, and then you had this, and you had this bearish move right here, then for a move down to the cloud. That was great. Yeah, I mean, it's holding the cloud pretty well. So just kind of keep an eye on that there. I mean, it closed bullishly above it today, so it might get some more movement back up. I mean, yeah, looks good. Watch out for this resistance up here, but that's still a pretty good move from 38 back up to 40, 41. Sure, looks good. Doc and Min, team. Yep, you got it. Let's take a look. I don't know how they get team out of, like, Atlassian, but sure. All right, it's got to work its way down here. I mean, again, we'll just kind of keep an eye on it. This way, low, 59. Yeah, we kind of probably just go like that to see how it does. See if it goes bullishly over it. Might give a little bit of swing, at least to the top of the pitchfork level, possibly to the cloud. Very, very good. Nudie Poo, what's happening? SLB, good to see you. Thanks for tuning in, as always. Wow, SLV really kind of moving back right there. Had that great gap up there, right? Gonna move here. So at this point, let's see how it handles this cloud and this trend line, right? It's just kind of working its way down at this point. Okay, closing gaps below, open gaps, things like that. Just gotta be careful at this point. Bodhi Pudi, what's going on? Thank you. Yep. See you tomorrow. Appreciate it. Thanks for tuning in. Scott Huff, Snap. We looked at that a little bit earlier. So it's gearing up again, right? Just give it a couple more days, see if it can confirm over that downward trend line. And then Apple, Scotty. All right, let's take a look here. All right, there we go. So it is trending, right? Big move today, nice volume. Okay, I mean, it kind of, sort of, call today the start of the move, right? And if it could close bullishly over today's level or even this 225, I know it's annoying, but a little resistance right here. But if it could kind of close above there with volume, 230, right? So just got to keep an eye on these levels right here. Very, very good. Edwin, what's happening? Netflix? Yep, we'll take another look at it for sure. Netflix. Okay. Just has to close bullishly, right? It's this is kind of the first minor pivot right here that it's working on, right? I like the close today. The high here is 268.05. Couldn't quite do it today, but 268.05. Now it's got to close over today's high, right? But any type of bullish close over 270 in the next day or two with some volume could get a move up to that 280 level, right? Then we'll see how it handles this this trend line resistance right here. This is big. This is a big trend line right here from all the way from right before earnings. Okay. So definitely worth keeping an eye on. Scott, CRWD, yep. Yep, still kind of working. Okay. Possible little minor pivot right there. I mean, the big trend line's right here. Right? So even a close above this, it's got to get over that resistance, just like Netflix. Once it does that, once it closes over this one, we'll look and see if we can get up to the cloud. That's the goal. Opens above. Session. The indicator is what MA with the RSI. That's the 5 MA SMA with the with the 14 RSI, and you just kind of overlap them on that. It's good. It's neat. It is a cool little tool. MTN UVXY. Yeah, let's take a look. Shirley just emailed too. She's got 3 on there, so we'll get through those too. All right, let's see real quick. Yeah, UVXY. Okay, yeah. Right, this was that bullish closer to this level right here. So, I mean, the theory is that it should at least work its way up to this this trend line here. How it does it, we'll see. Inside day. 1 tweet away from a spike. Good stuff. All right, let's take a look at Shirley's stocks right here. So she VSM, GSK. So Shirley is VSM, GSK, and what was the other one, Shirley? ETRN. No problem, MTN. All right, let's take a look at VSM. This is another one of those ones, Shirley. Just be careful of this. I know it popped out there, but this is some weird acquisition stuff. I wouldn't mess with that, just like the AGN. GSK. Yeah, big pops right here. Lots of kind of these red bars. I know it's a ADR, but I mean it's extremely bullish. So just be careful with that. I mean it's extremely parabolic is what I meant. This is what it does. I mean it almost looks like a Heikin-Ashi chart, right? The way it's just all red and then just green. But yeah, so yeah, it is relatively bullish. Be careful with the gap, Shirley. It could get frustrating. And then ETRN. Okay, yeah. Yeah. Let's zoom in here a little bit. Yeah, it's starting to work its way up here. Yeah, bullish close over this. The only thing I worry about right here is the cloud. It's the only thing on that. Otherwise, it looks great. Scott BMY. Yep, still holding trend. So bullish until proven otherwise. Topping tail right there, so just be careful. But may come back. See how it holds that trend line. Ex dividend soon too. Then earnings. Good. Session looking to turn the fourth quarter around for me. Nice. Let's see how we can do with 3 months to go. We got it, guys. So we got quarters over. We got a fresh month coming in tomorrow. Fresh flows. We got futures up. Right. We got earnings season starting again, which is great. For positive trend subscribers, we got like so many techniques where we can handle like these volatility type moves, right? And then once we catch a runner, I mean, they're just incredible, right? Because the setups are there. So good stuff. All right, guys. Well, thanks for all the awesome chart requests. Great job tonight. And today is what? Monday, so everything starts fresh tomorrow, right? So fresh month, fresh quarter. So let's do it. Exactly. Let's have an awesome quarter this coming quarter. So again, like I said, fresh flows coming in, earnings season coming up, lots of good stuff happening. So thank you everybody for tuning in. If you're new here, definitely subscribe on YouTube. We do this every market night, and also check out our links in the description. All right, guys, enjoy the rest of your evening, and remember your risk first and stay safe so you can stay in the game. And I'll talk to you guys soon.